Say you just finished work after a long day and life was really testing you that day. You know what I'm talking about. What do you want to do? You want to go home. You want to take a nice long shower. You want to pop open a bag of sodium vinegar chips, right? Maybe lay down on your bed, watch something, maybe Singles Inferno season 5, and then you want to go to sleep. Maybe you fall asleep without finishing that episode with the bag of chips still in your hand and your mouth might be still open. That is all right, girl. You deserve the rest. But what happens when you finish work? You get to the front of your house, you take out your key, you punch it into the keyhole and turn. It does not turn. You could have sworn that you have done this a freaking million times. What the hell is happening right now? You look at your key, you look at the keyhole, you look at your key again, you look at the keyhole. This freaking keyhole is gaslighting me. So you knock on the door. Maybe this is a prank. Maybe someone is actually inside your house waiting for you to come back, right? So you knock and you wait and you wait, and then your door opens. Someone else opens the door. You don't know that person, but that person looks very familiar. And that person looks so annoying because they look so comfortable in your clothes, inside your home, with your shoes on, and surrounded by everything that belongs to you. And that person looks awfully like the person that you see every single day in front of the mirror. What's scary about this person is that they want the good and the bad in your life. Imagine the person that you love most in this world, and that person walking up to the door puts a protective arm over your imposter and tells you, I don't know you, so please leave. I would freaking freak. I would be like, I'm gonna call the police. If they don't believe me, the police, I'll be right here. I'm gonna make a YouTube video and then I'm gonna make a Reddit post, cover my bases. You know what I'm talking about? But this is the premise of the book called My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney. If you have heard of the series called His and Hers, this is by the same writer. I really, really love this book. This is the premise of the book. The wife goes running. When she comes back, someone else opens the door and says that they don't know her. And then her own husband come up to the door and be like, I don't know you, so please leave. And she's like, what? I've spent 10 years with this person and my husband literally just told me to my face that he doesn't even know me. Okay, I'm not gonna spoil anymore, but this book is so good. If you want to read it, link in the description box below. If you wanna like grab a copy or something, this might just be my favorite story of Alice Feeney. Okay, by the end of this video, your brain might need legal instruction because the twists are disgustingly insane. This is my favorite mental gymnastics in life. I never saw the end coming, never. So
with that being said, if you got chores to do, if you got some things to get done, maybe you are like commuting or anything, let's get right into it.
Art, let me introduce you to Eden Fox. Oof. That's a hot name. So I want you to think of Penelope Cruz because she's so hot. Eden Fox is petite and she's blonde. I know Penelope Cruz is not like, she doesn't always rock the blonde look, but when she does, oh my God. She's dirty something in my head. She's absolutely gorgeous, all right? Eden has a very interesting outlook in life where she prefers the in-between, between day and night, between love and a heartbreak, because she believes that no joy lasts forever, but no sorrows lasts forever either. The only two certain things in life are everybody dies, everybody lies. She sounds a little bit like a party pooper, I'm not gonna lie, but I'll agree with Eden on one thing right now, which is my favorite place is also sunset. Eden is not watching the sunset while she's stuck in traffic like me. Eden lives in the countryside, and you know that sunset is the best sunset. To her left, there's ocean. All day you would just hear waves crashing, birds. You would smell the salt in the air. To her right, vast Greenland. The oxygen is so crispy clean that you know it's good for you, all right? And her house is at the top of the hill. Eden knows that she's living the dream. She got a beautiful husband, a beautiful house in a beautiful place. She's healthy, she's happy. She has everything that she has ever wanted. The thing about Eden is if she wants something, she has to have it. Eden deserves this because she had put herself aside long enough to take care of other people. Now it's time for her to do things for herself. One of the first few things that she started doing for herself is running. Every day during sunset, she would put on her trainers, she would tie her hair in a ponytail, and then she would go out for a run. It makes her feel good. It makes her feel young and free again. For the next hour when she's running, she's not the wife, she's not a mother, she's not a woman who's trying to find herself in this world. She is just her. So here is Eden's running routine. She would start from her house on the hills, and then she would run down the hills past the ocean into the town. This town is called Hope Falls. It's like, I hope you're well, but don't fall on your bum bum. Hope Falls. I want you to picture super old-fashioned shop lots. Maybe the paints are chipping off the walls. There are natural scars on the bricks of the mom and pop shop lots. These small buildings are probably built in the 70s, and since then, nobody had done any major renovation to them. So like most shop lots, there are two levels, right? Below is where the villagers would do their business, and above, they would Airbnb it. That's what they've got going on. So I hope that you have a good picture, right? Hope Falls is a super small community. It's actually a fishing village. When you're here, it feels like you are living pre-internet. People are listening to radio, Walkmans, or do you know what a Walkman is? I hope that you do. Or these villagers are listening to nothing. They live in a time where not scrolling on your phone is actually a majority of their day, where life feels simple right now. It's winter. We are at the end of October in Hope Falls. It's not peak tourist season right now, so most of the shop lots are closed. Besides a pub, a cafe by the ocean, the local gallery, and the police station. Everything else closed. You can still go to Hope Falls and stay there at this time of the year, but it's just that chances of someone vacating right now here is slim to none. There's beauty to that though. You know what I mean? A quiet, small town, especially if you're a runner, the cold wind on your face and your hair, when you hit that runner's high, when the sun sets, oh, girl. That's a different feeling. Eden Fox right now is running past the town, and then she stopped to look at the gallery, the local gallery. It has a small poster by the window. Eden Fox, local artist exhibition, 8 p.m. tonight. Eden Fox has an exhibition later in about 2 hours, assuming that the sun sets at 6 p.m. Eden has always dreamt of becoming an artist. Her circumstances before this didn't allow that. She married young, became a wife, had to take care of her daughter. Now that her daughter finally left the nest, she can finally pursue her dream of becoming an artist. She is very excited for this new chapter in her life. Not only she will be known as an artist in a few hours, she will also get to meet the people of Hope Falls finally. Eden and her husband just moved here not too long ago, and she was so busy with everything, with the renovation, moving in, all that jazz. She was very occupied. Maybe tonight she can make some new friends. She has never been a people's person. She would rather be in the company of books. She's very shy. However, this is a new chapter in her life with her beautiful husband, beautiful home in a beautiful place. She should feel excited and very happy, right? She does. But it's just that something feels off about the man that she loves. He hasn't been acting like himself since their daughter left the nest. The thing is, Eden's husband did not suggest to move here. He has a full-time job, a very high-paying, high-position full-time job in London. They have a flat there, and although that he agreed to move to Hope Falls, sometimes he would just stay at their London flat alone and not come back. When I was reading this, I was like, girl, I have read, seen, and heard this tale way too many times, but I was wrong. a little bit, but let's continue. Eden knows that work is important for her husband and that, he's the breadwinner in the family. That is not the problem. The problem is, why does he go and spend time with their daughter alone? The two have always been very close, but does he not understand that it was Eden who gave up her life to take care of their daughter because he was too busy? So there's a sort of resentment that Eden has towards their daughter, but not so much towards her husband. In a way, she wishes that she didn't have to take care of her daughter. She also, part of her wishes that her daughter didn't need help around the clock and that she was quote unquote normal. But all of that is behind them now. Their daughter has left the nest. Her and her husband moved to a new town. This is a new beginning for them. Eden keeps running and she passes the top of the hill. This is where you can watch sunset in HD. Eden and her husband shared a romantic picnic here not too long ago. You have really, really good view of the ocean in front of you. Behind you is the town and up so many stars and the moon. Eden's husband calls this our special place. But the people in Hope Falls calls this the common self-exit spot, which is why they have a self-exit hotline poster right there next to our special place. Eden sees that and then sees the poster and she's like, okay, I'm gonna keep running. So she keeps running. Now she runs back to the town up the hill to where her house is located. Her house is the only house on this hill. From the town, you can actually see her house. It stands out not only because it's lonely on that hill, but it's also because the windows of Eden's house looks like two huge eyes just staring at you. This house has been around since the 16th century. The previous owner lived here for almost 100 years before Eden bought it. The name of this house is called Spyglass because two eyes, right? The vibe of the design of Spyglass is very wonky, quirky, unique. I'm gonna show some pictures. I think that's how it looks like, okay? When Eden first saw this house, she knew from the jump that she wanted it. And if Eden wants something, remember she's going to have it. Harrison, her husband, was different. He was not really a fan of Spyglass. When he saw it, he was like, okay, this looks like a museum. This does not look like a home. But Eden knew that it just needed work. And then Harrison bought it. Back to Eden's run. The first thing that she saw when she arrives at the porch of her house, she sees her husband's midlife crisis car. A Porsche. Guys, what? I did not know that a Porsche is a midlife crisis car. I don't know why it's categorized as that, because to me, that is like I got retirement money and I might just want to buy myself a nice car. That is what a Porsche is to me, but nobody is going to say no to a Porsche, you know what I mean? Also, if the Porsche is here, that means that her husband is home from London. She can already see her evening playing out, them two hand in hand in love, going to the gallery, chit chat at the gallery, getting to know their neighbors, her having her first exhibition, have some drinks, some more chit chat. It's going to be great. A renaissance for Eden Fox and Harrison Wolf. Harrison Wolf, so Eden's husband, I want you to picture Brad Pitt, okay? And that is a hot couple, you know what I mean? I know a hot couple when I see them and when I hear their names. Eden runs to the front door, slots in her key. It doesn't even go in. It doesn't even go in. It's like she has the wrong key. She looks at the key and she looks at the door. Harrison gave her that key with that keychain. The keychain is no doubt hers because it has her name, Eden, on one side, and the other side is love you to the moon and back. Harrison would always say this to her. There's no way that she got this wrong. Eden slots in the key again. It doesn't work. It doesn't go in. So she taps on the fox-shaped knocker 3 times and she waits low-key. That is such a cool detail, fox-shaped knocker because she's like Eden Fox. Eden waits and she smiles. Maybe Harrison is playing some sort of joke on her. It's like cute. No need to worry because Harrison will explain everything or handle everything as he always does. Eden smiles and then she frowns because when the door opens, it's not Harrison that she sees. She sees her own reflection moving in front of her. Another woman who's also petite and blonde. The only difference between Eden and her is that this reflection of hers looks 10 years older than her, but they look more put together. Can I help you? Eden's reflection starts to speak. Now Eden is like, what the hell is happening? Because you look like me, but just, a little older. You also sound like me. Eden is staring. This woman's face, voice, the dress. She is wearing the black velvet dress that she had planned on wearing to the gallery later. She's even wearing Eden's perfume. Who are you? Eden whispers. I'm Eden Fox. I live here. I'm Eden Fox. What are you talking about? This is a trippy moment for Eden because it makes her question whether she dreamt all of this. The imposter opens her mouth again and she starts to speak again. I think you've made a mistake. And she starts to close the front door. Eden puts her foot in the door and says, I don't know who you are, but this is my house. You are clearly confused. I moved here a few weeks ago. Eden's imposter sounds afraid of Eden. And then it hits Eden, finally, that is it some sort of identity theft? Like, what is happening? Why would this imposter wants to be me? It's not like Harrison is super rich. He is a CEO, yes, but we are not like cash loaded. After buying this house, after buying this home, we don't even have money to renovate. I had to rip out the carpets on my own, sand the floor on my own, and paint the walls on my own. Now we got mortgage to pay and our daughter's fees to pay. We are just normal people. Well, Eden is thinking about all of this, right, in her head. She is staring at her imposter and she realizes another thing. This woman, her imposter, is wearing her engagement and wedding rings. If Eden were not running, you would see those rings on her, not her imposter. Eden never brings anything shiny with her when she goes for a run. Not her rings, not her phone, not her wallet, not her car keys, nothing. Seeing those rings on her made Eden go from confused to angry. What the fuck is going on? Then the imposter dares to close the door on Eden again. And she says, I've asked you to leave my property. It isn't your property. You are crazy. Where's my husband? The imposter continues, I don't know who you are or who your husband is, but if you don't leave right now, I will call the police. Good. Go ahead. Call them. If I had my phone, I would call them myself. And then Eden hears it. Harrison asking if everything is okay. His voice is coming from inside the house and he's approaching the front door. Harrison Wolf, the CEO, still dressed in his black Armani suits, black shirt and tie. He's in his 40s. He's Eden's best friend, lover, and husband. But when Harrison gets to the front of Eden, he puts a protective hand over Eden's imposter, glares at Eden, and says, this is our home. I don't know you. Please leave. And he slams the door shut. Now, we have got 99 problems and no solution because what the heck is going on? School does not prepare you for a situation like this. Eden does not know what to do. She pounds on the door. She even tries to slot in her key again. She shouts, open this bloody door. Nobody replies. Nobody opens the door. Then she starts to panic because she has nobody else in her life but Harrison Wolf, her husband. She has no family members. She has no friends outside of Hope Falls. She has no friends inside Hope Falls. She has spoken to the gallery owner prior to her exhibition only through email. She starts panicking again. She just needs to get inside this house. She goes over to the back of the house to try the back door. It's locked. The windows are locked. Curtains are closed and blinds are shut. Then Eden hears a car coming and something tells her that she should hide. So she does. She hides in the shadows of spyglass and she's seeing everything unfold. She sees a police officer, puts the car in park, knocks on her door, and Harrison opening the door. I want you to picture Dylan O'Brien as a police officer. He's very young, he's very handsome, but he looks very inexperienced as a police officer because it looks like he doesn't even fit his police officer uniform. And that makes Eden thinks that this has to be a joke that Harrison is playing on her. But that thought quickly shatters because Harrison tells his police, I'm sorry to have called you, but we didn't know what else to do. There was a woman banging on the door saying that she lives here. She seemed confused and unstable. She had threatened my wife. I have never seen her before, and to be honest, I don't feel safe here anymore considering this happened after just weeks after moving here. At that, the police officer reassures Harrison that Hope Falls is one of the safest places to live in the county, lowest crime rates in all of Cornwall. Eden is fuming in the shadows of spyglass. She cannot believe that Harrison is lying through his teeth right now. They have spent the past 10 years together. She took care of their daughter when he was too busy, and now he does this to her? Eden knows that Harrison is a very, very smart guy. He will outsmart anybody if he wants to. And this police officer, this young, gullible, inexperienced police officer does not stand a chance against a guy like Harrison Wolf. He will believe everything that comes out of Harrison's mouth. Would it be possible to just speak with your wife, Mr. Wolf? It would be helpful to get a description of the woman from the both of you. Harrison jumps at that and says his wife is suffering from migraines and she had to lie down. The police officer nods and he says, I understand, but Harrison cuts him off. But in terms of description, yeah, the woman was petite, 30-something with long blonde hair tied in a ponytail, dressed in black. After that, the police officer tells him that, rest assured, we will get to the bottom of this, Mr. Wolf. Hope Falls is a safe place. Until then, I am Sergeant Carter, and here's my card. If the woman shows up again, or if you remember anything else, there was something, Sergeant. This might sound a little strange, but the woman looked a little bit like my wife, like a younger version of her, and her voice, it was almost like she was trying to imitate her. Eden can't catch her breath right now. She cannot calm down. What the heck is happening? She falls. Then a tree branch snapped below her feet. Now, Harrison and Sergeant Carter are both looking in her direction, and Eden runs. Pause right now. Who do you think is the real Eden? Let me know down in the comments below. But I want you to remember Eden and remember how you feel about her, because there are two timelines in the story, present and 6 months ago. At present, Eden Fox's identity is being stolen right in front of her face. That is what we are told. 6 months earlier, Eden hasn't even bought spyglass yet. Now, we're gonna cruise on this timeline 6 months earlier. 6 months prior to Eden, Harrison, the imposter, Spyglass, and Hope Falls, okay? Stay with me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to introduce you to the other main lead. Let me introduce you to Olivia Bird. I want you to meet Olivia Bird, and I want you to picture Kate Blanchett. Olivia doesn't go by Olivia. She goes by Birdie, and Birdie as Kate Blanchett. Oh my God. Birdie right now is in the hospital waiting for her turn for a checkup. Recently, the hospital just called her and was like, girl, you just turned 40. You need to come for a checkup so we know that nothing's wrong with you, hopefully. Birdie is not thrilled to be here. She doesn't want to be at the hospital. So let's look at the numbers. Eden is 30-something. Birdie is 40-something. So this is the very first idea that would suggest that maybe Eden and Birdie is connected because Eden's imposter is 10 years older than Eden. But here's the thing, Birdie's vibes are very different from Eden. Birdie is that friend who will see through people's BS. Sometimes her words just cut like knife, but at least you know that she's honest. She hates it when people is being fake with her, but she also understands it's social courtesy. Like when the nurse told Birdie, "So sorry for the delay," after she waited for an hour in the hospital. The nurse, she's not sorry. Birdie can smell her cigarette break from her, but she told the nurse, "Oh no problem at all. I know how busy you must be." Then mutter under her breath, "You insincere beetroot." Birdie is that friend. And she might also sit like this. And I love her, right? I hope you have a good picture of that friend because Birdie has no friends. Let's not laugh about that. Let me give you some visuals of Birdie right now. She got long black hair, super pale skin, and she got a full sleeve on one hand, not a shirt sleeve, a tattoo sleeve. From the top of her right arm straight down to her wrist, she got a tattoo of a shallow bird on her hand. Birdie also wears a lot of rings. They are her armor. They make her feel like her. If she was not wearing this ugly hospital gown right now, she would be wearing her uniform, which is white shirt and jeans. She got 4 of those same shirt, 4 of those same jeans. So you have a good idea of how she's like and how she operates. She usually tie her hair in braids. And yeah, right now Birdie is just at the hospital waiting and she's thinking about her mother. Then she reminds herself, it's not that I miss her. It's just that I miss the idea of her, because a mother was supposed to give you unconditional love. A parent is always a parent. A child is always a child. Time and age should not change the roles or the meaning of them. Things get broken when people don't understand this. Birdie's mother has been dead for 3 decades. Birdie wonders though, if her mother was still alive, would she hate what she had done with her life? Would she be proud of her? Would she hate her tattoos? Then Birdie says to herself, "You selfish f***ing bitch." And you know how like in books or movies, the character says something like super cryptic and it all makes sense at the end? So here is Birdie's cryptic message for us. Besides, what happened was a lifetime ago. Another life, another time, another version of me. And our memories can make liars of us all. I loved her so much. It still hurts. I want you to keep that in your mind. If you want to write it in your journal, do it. Just do it. Birdie was not always like this. She was not always this like character, like scary, tough character. No, she was different for what it feels like a lifetime ago. We don't know what she does now, but whatever her job is has made her into the person that she is today. Cold, nothing really scare her anymore, nothing really shock her anymore. She's very good at her job. She's recognized to be one of the best in her field. Her job, this field, it's not for everyone. Take a good long guess. What do you think it is? Because in my head, I was thinking, she an assassin, she a cool assassin. But I was wrong. Okay, so you guess. Whatever it may be, however, going to the hospital for a checkup is a different type of fear. I feel like it needs an anxiety, like a category of anxiety on its own. You know what I'm talking about? Birdie is scared because she knows something is wrong with her, but she doesn't know what is wrong with her. She wonders to herself if she would die young. But Birdie knows this one thing, is that you cannot live with fear. Fear can kill a person far faster than anything real. So she just tries not to think about it. And so the nurses call for her. They do scans, blood tests. Then there was a call from the doctor. And she goes back, more scans, more tests. And then she goes back to waiting. This is not good. There's way too many scans. The doctor tells her, "Birdie, I'm afraid there are multiple tumors growing inside your body." And Birdie's world just suddenly became so small, so cold, so dark. Like she sort of just blanks out, like she checks out. Then she hears the waves crashing inside her head. Birdie asks, "How long do I have?" The doctor can't even answer that question. They just say that, I don't know. I can't give you an estimate, but I know it's not long. You are gonna be gone soon. And after this, you're telling me that Birdie is just supposed to leave the hospital and live the rest of her limited life with this new piece of information. She has nobody to digest this information with. She has no shoulders to cry on. She got shoulders. I mean, like, she got shoulders. She could cry like this. But girl, come on, be serious. And Birdie walks out of the hospital, and London is still being London. You know, the streets, still too many people, too much noise, too much everything. Why is everyone in London behaving like their world didn't just end like 5 minutes ago? But Birdie hops on her Vespa and she drives home. She lives above a bookstore. The street that she lives in is filled with bookshops. In the book, it's described as diagonally for bookshops. Oh my God, Alice Feeney, I'm going to buy every single book that you publish from this point onwards because I love this book and you just said diagonally. Back to Birdie. When she gets home, she's greeted by her husky, Sunday. She named him Sunday because Sunday is her favorite day. She found Sunday when he was just a little puppy. He was crying, shivering inside a shoebox outside one of the bookshops one morning. Birdie took him in and the rest is history. It's not ideal to have a Siberian husky inside a flat, but they make each other so happy. The thing about Sunday is that he understands Birdie more than any living thing could. Sunday looks fierce to people who doesn't know him, but truly he's just like a softie. I love dogs. Maybe that's why I'm telling you so much about Sunday. I love cats. I got 3 cats. But really, let me just tell you this. When you are crying on your bed, like sad about life, your cat does not care. Your cat is drinking water, eating their snacks. Your cat is vomiting hairball. They don't give a fork. Sunday is different. Sunday knew that when Birdie came home, Birdie was not feeling her best, especially when Birdie starts crying alone on her kitchen floor, thinking about what her doctor just told her, wondering how much time she has left. She is too young to die. She's not ready to leave it all behind. Sunday just comes up to her and rests his head on her lap. An hour later, there's a knock on the door. Birdie, let me just make it very clear. She has no friends. She never invites anybody over. So, who the fork could be knocking right now? So she leaves it. Maybe it's a mistake. Maybe they're looking for a book or something. They knock again. She's angry now. She gets up. She stomps down the hallway, down the stairs, opens the door. I'm looking for Oliver Bird, says a middle-aged man in a cheap suit. He's smiling at her. He has a briefcase on one hand, and another hand he has a large black umbrella. So you know what? He looks like Man in Black, but low budget, okay? Birdie looks at him as like, how is it possible that you know my name and where I live? I'm sorry to interrupt your evening, but are you Oliver Bird? If you are, I am sorry to inform you that a family member of yours has died. What is he talking about? She has no family member, but he continues. Your grandmother passed away a few weeks ago, and I'm the solicitor that she appointed to look after her affairs. Birdie opens her mouth and tells him, I don't have a grandmother. Everybody has a grandmother. It's biologically impossible not to, just like everyone has a mother. Oh, sorry, I understand that parts of the family were strange, but according to our very thorough research, you are your grandmother's only surviving relative. And, well, she left you a little something in a place called Hope Falls. So right now, this is the second clue that we get about how Birdie could be potentially connected to Eden, at least location-wise, if we don't consider the age. Hope Falls. But to be honest, like, the two women still feels quite distant from another. We can't really connect the dots that well yet. So let's go back to Eden right now. Let's go back to Hope Falls, present day, to piece the puzzle together. Eden has nowhere to go. So she goes back to Spyglass and she sees Harrison leaves the house with the imposter. What really, really bugged Eden was Harrison opening the door for her imposter. He has never done that with Eden. Then they drive away. Eden follows behind them by foot. She knows where they are going. It's almost 8 p.m. When they arrive at the gallery, Eden is watching everything unfold. Oh my God. Everyone is inside the gallery. They are comfortable. They are talking. It's happening. Eden's first exhibition is happening without Eden. Then she hears ding, ding, ding. Someone clinks their glass and says, without further ado, it's my great pleasure to introduce you all to the very lovely and very talented Eden Fox. And then her imposter gets up and she starts to speak. When Harrison and I first moved to Hope Falls, I knew that it was going to be a very special place for our family. Thank you for making us feel so welcome in the past few weeks and for this, my first art exhibition. As you can probably tell from my work, I'm obsessed with the sea. I'm so grateful to the owner of Saltwater Gallery and to all of you for coming tonight. And last but never least, to my Harry for encouraging me to paint again and for being the best husband in the world. Cheers to you all. I hope you have a wonderful evening and please buy my work. Everyone starts clapping and laughing and Eden is staring and she's not laughing. How dare she? Her night, her painting, her first exhibition, her husband, those things belongs to Eden, not this imposter. She won't let her take what's hers. Eden walks into the gallery, pushes through the crowd, and just when she's around to reach Harrison and the imposter, a hand grabs her arm and she turns and that someone smiles and tells Eden, I think it's time to go. It's the police. It's Sergeant Carter. He takes Eden to a cottage. That cottage, aka, is also a police station. It has one desk, 2 chairs, a filing cabinet. You see, there's not a lot of crimes in here. They don't need a very fancy, proper police station. That makes up the entire office. And girl, let me just tell you, this book keeps telling me how handsome he is. So yeah, he is very handsome. I'm telling you the truth. I'm Eden Fox. And when Eden's done saying that, she's like,
oh my God, look at this guy. He's so handsome. Like, girl, like that brown hair falling over those brown eyes. Oof.
You handsome.
Carter, though, is not distracted by her good looks, but by how persistent she is. You're telling me that you are Eden Fox? Yes. That you live in the house on the hill? Spyglass, yes. That the exhibition at the gallery tonight is displaying your work and that the artist inside is pretending to be you and that your husband is just going along with this? Exactly. Yes, that's right. There's no way that Carter can file a report even for a simple town because this woman has no ID. She doesn't have her phone. She doesn't have anything. So he asks for her socials. Before Eden can tell him that she doesn't do socials, that she doesn't have a Facebook, Twitter, Carter shows Eden her Instagram account. Name is Eden Fox Artist and the imposter's face as display photo for that account. And the thing is, this account is not new. It's been here for a while already. There are so many photos. There are photos of Spyglass being renovated and a photo of Eden in her overalls on a ladder painting the walls in the kitchen. You can't see Eden's face. The photo is her. She knows she did that. The photo is taken from the back. Maybe Harrison took that photo, but Eden did not post or make this account. So who did this? I guess Carter could see like all the doubts, anxieties, and worries from Eden's face. He feels bad for her. But the more she says that she is the real Eden Fox, the more irritated he gets. There is so much proof. Like, just look at this Instagram account. Why are you still pretending? That's what Carter's thinking. And he continues, she's the only Eden Fox anyone in this village has ever seen. We made an effort to get to know this village and everybody in it. I met Eden Fox myself only last week. She came in here to the police station to introduce herself and she even gave me a poster for the exhibition. So I think we can be certain that she is the real Eden Fox. And what we need to figure out now is who you are. Eden has nothing but words. She has no ID. She has no passport to show who she is. But there's one person that can reassure her that she is the real Eden Fox. She says, Gabriella. Eden's daughter with Harrison is called Gabriella, the one that she gave up her life to take care of. The daughter that she wishes was normal and didn't need her around the clock. Carter asked Eden to call Gabby right now, but she says, I can't. She won't talk to me. Why, girl? Why won't your daughter talk to you? I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Eden doesn't even want to go see Gabriella either. It sounds like Eden is glad that Gabby is gone. But where is Gabby? Time is of the essence, guys, especially for Birdie. 6 months ago, when she was told that her grandmother, who she didn't know she had, left her something in Hope Falls. So let's go back to Birdie and the solicitor. Turns out the low-budget man in black is telling the truth that Birdie had a grandmother and she left Birdie a house in her will. Soon, Birdie is going to find out that she is no stranger to Hope Falls because she used to live there as a little girl. Then her mother passed away when she was around 10 years old, and then she went into the foster care system. And it was really a nightmare. Maybe this is why she has the swallow tattooed on her. Well, to be honest, she tattooed the swallow on her because one of her foster care a-hole used her arm as a cigarette tray. But maybe she's like a swallow bird. Swallow bird fly far from home, but they always return eventually when they learn that it's safe to do so. Remember Birdie's coping mechanism, the waves crashing? That came from her childhood in Hope Falls. It's not her happy place because it's a mix of her dreams and her nightmare. Her childhood was a mix of as it should be until her mother passed away when she was 10 years old. Her mother used to tell Birdie, we are both mermaids, and that one day we would return to a secret world beneath the waves where nobody could hurt us. And then Birdie's mother left to paradise alone. Birdie loves her mother, but she hates the fact that she abandoned her and hence selfish, forking, beetroot when recalling her own mother. After finding out about her grandmother, Birdie travels to Hope Falls to see what her grandmother left her. She walks through the town. She sees the 70s buildings, the shop lots. She's walking up the hills, and then she sees a quirky house that looks like a museum more than a house. Then she slots in the key, and then she stops. She knocks on the door. And when nobody answers, she turns the key and she enters Spyglass. Her grandmother left her Spyglass, and her grandmother was the woman who lived here for almost 100 years. And you know how like different homes have different smell? Spyglass smells like old books, wet dogs, brownies, tea. Her mother by the ocean. This is Birdie's childhood, as you can imagine. Like, being in a place like that after so long is quite overwhelming for her. So she just stands in the hallway of Spyglass and takes it all in. It's a blur, but it feels like her body remembers being here. Her brain is just like, can't remember anything. Maybe she was too young to remember it. And then Birdie turns and she closes the front door. And on her, like around her feet, she sees so many letters, like unopened letters, flyers. They're like from retirement villages, funeral homes, like anything targeting the elderly. But one letter really stood out to her. The envelope looks very fancy. It looks like a wedding invitation. You know, like they're very fancy calligraphy with like different colors. This has like black with rose gold foil letters on top with really thick paper. In front of the envelope says, everyone knows their birthday. If you could know your death day, would you want to? That is forked up, right? To start with that. But remember, Birdie wants to know her death day. Is this a scam? Are they trying to prey on elderly people for profit? Birdie opens the letter and it says, Thananos, we believe that everyone deserves to live their best life. The only way to do so is to know how long you've got. Millions of people spend their lives saving for a future they will never know. Millions of people pay into pensions they will never receive a penny of. Millions of people never get to say goodbye to their loved ones. The world is full of people who put off living their dreams because they have been fooled into thinking there will always be tomorrow. Nobody needs to live or die that way anymore. We can offer you the certainty to make most of your time. Here at Thananos, after years of tireless research, our friendly teams of scientists and doctors have discovered how to predict the date of your death. There are no scary medical tests involved. Unlike most private health clinics, there are no fees. We care about our clients and we keep anxiety to a minimum, so there is no waiting list. We believe knowing your future is your right and that your time is precious. Let us help you make the most of whatever time you have left. For a free consultation, please call this number. Terms and conditions apply, and only clients named on this letter can participate. And on top of the letter says, to Olivia Bird. What the hell's going on? Before Birdie was here, she was diagnosed. She wanted to know her death day, and she only got, you're gonna be gone soon. Now that Birdie's here, she sees a letter telling her that you can know that for certainty, for free, in a private, prestigious, fancy clinic. This is the one thing that will eat at Birdie for days to come. But right now, she leaves the letter and she continues exploring Spyglass. One interesting thing about Spyglass is that people joke like, oh, it could be a museum. Like, it looks more like a museum. It could actually be a museum because legally, no owners can renovate or remove parts of their house. Like, no matter what happens, Birdie and anyone who buys Spyglass cannot renovate or remove the original bookcases in the library because it was installed about 100 years ago by a famous local carpenter who worked for the royal family. And there are two rules. Number one is that you cannot remove the bookcases in the library. Number two, it's illegal to have fun in this house. There's no merriment allowed. Everybody gotta be set as fork in this house. No fun parties because the original owner of this house also owned the pub in town. So if you wanna go have fun, you go over there, not here. So by right, with that information, we know that Birdie inherited Spyglass and the pub in town. So remember this. This will be very significant later. Birdie walks into the library. Her grandmother loved reading, just like her. The library at Spyglass is blue, if I remember correctly. Everything is blue, besides the Christmas tree. Okay, there's one Christmas tree, and on that one Christmas tree, there's one single stocking, and I'm sad. Birdie reaches for the stocking and she pulls out a jewelry box. Inside that box is an enormous ruby ring. It looks like it could be fake or it could be real, but it's enormous. Like it could worth a fortune. Just when Birdie is about to leave the room, she sees a photo. This time, she sees herself in the photo. She was maybe like 5 or 6. She's sitting on her grandmother's lap, who she can't remember. She can't even remember taking this photo. Next to this frame is a ton of old novels and envelopes. So many envelopes. And on each of those envelopes has a Birdie written on the front in the most beautiful calligraphy. And it says, "To my dearest Olivia, my favorite little birdie, why won't you fly home?" And tucked inside each of the cards is a swallow bird's feather. Maybe like Birdie's grandmother loves her and didn't know how to look for her. There are so many cards here with all of her name. They are all to Olivia Bird. And then Birdie heads to the front door. She opens it. "Can I help you?" And she sees Sergeant Carter. Handsome Carter, Mr. Carter. He continues, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to intrude. I don't want to scare you. I'm the police around here. It's my night off, but I just couldn't understand why spyglass lights were on since I knew that nobody would be home. Can I ask for your name and what you're doing here? Birdie tells him her name, and Carter says, Olivia Bird is dead. Before we can find out more about how a living person could be dead in a town called Hope Falls, let's go back to present day when Eden witnessed her life being stolen right in front of her face. Okay, right now she's telling Carter, I need to go see Gabriella because Gabriella is the only person that would tell you that I am the real Eden Fox. And okay, guys, I think identity theft is insane. It's a freaking brain-wrecking experience, right? It has to be, because for a moment, just a moment, when Eden is talking to Carter, she's thinking to herself, maybe I could seduce him and persuade him to let me go, right? She starts entertaining the idea of doing the nasties with Carter. She thinks that this policeman is like very handsome and like guys like him used to look at her a certain way. But guys, I'm saying, man, like this guy Carter, like this policeman, he is giving without even trying. This guy is every woman's rebound, unfortunately. Eden doesn't really want him. She wants Harrison. They have not been physical in a long time. And right now, she can't really do the nasties with Carter. Like she thinks that he's handsome, all of that, but it's not a good time. This guy thinks that you are crazy. When you try to seduce him, I don't think that he's gonna fall for it. You know what I mean? So what does Eden do? She escapes the police station and she runs back to Spyglass. When Carter walked away to make her a cup of tea, she ran away. When Eden gets back, the Porsche is not home. So she knows that Harrison and the B word is not home, but her Range Rover is home. She needs the car to go see her daughter. So she picks up a rock, throws it at the glass door. She runs into the kitchen. She's looking every nooks and crannies inside her own kitchen because she knows that she left her phone and her purse right here. Her driver's license, any ID, it should be here, but it's not here. She runs into their bedroom, opened the closet, changed into some new jeans and a clean white shirt. But when she was putting on her jeans, it's a bit loose on her. Some of the clothes inside this closet, she doesn't even remember buying them. But she just puts it on. She grabs a sweater. She doesn't have a lot of time. She needs some ID. Maybe she can take her passport with her. She pulls out the drawer and the passport is not there. Her laptop is gone. All traces of her is scrubbed clean. All traces of her is gone. She finds a birthday card from Harrison, but it says, I love you to death. But that's not what Harrison would say to her. Remember, he used to say, I love you to the moon and back. Just like her keychain with her name on the front. She does not even remember him writing this to her. You know how there are like little things at home that you remember buying? You remember exactly where you bought it and why you bought it. Eden bought a silver frame years ago. She put a lot of thought into choosing that frame because she knew she wanted that frame to frame their wedding photo. And she wanted that frame in the common area. So tell me why. The silver frame with their wedding photo is now in their bedroom. And the photo is of Harrison and the imposter on their wedding day. It's like someone did some Photoshop or something. Same photo, same venue, different woman. She picks it up. She throws it across the room. It hits the wall, it falls on the floor, and it shatters. She gets even more mad now. It's a mix of panic, anger, and just confusion, right? She needs those Range Rover keys now. She needs to go find Gabby right now. She grabs the key, she runs downstairs, and she falls. Maybe someone pushed her. I actually don't know. What we do know for sure is there was a loud crack when Eden landed on the stone floor of a spyglass, and Eden blacks out. Olivia Bird is dead, says Carter. 6 months before Eden blacks out on the floor of Spyglass, 6 months before Birdie sold Spyglass to Eden and her husband. Standing in front of Birdie is Sergeant Carter. He thinks Birdie could be up to no good, considering like the only Olivia Bird that he knew is long gone. Birdie knows two things. She will keep one thing to herself, and the other she will tell him. The Olivia Bird that died was my grandmother. I was named after her, so we shared the same name. She died, so I inherited this house. Good night. What Birdie didn't tell Carter is she is so going to enjoy this. The bow, bow, bow. You know what I'm talking about? We'll get there later. Turns out, Birdie, her grandmother, and her mother are all named Mrs. Bird. Just as he's walking away, Birdie asks Carter if he knew her grandmother. To be honest, like her grandmother, nobody knew her. She kept to herself for years and she lived here for a really long time, almost 100 years. What everybody knew was Birdie's grandmother had a caretaker. And that caretaker, you would just see her car in front of the house, a red Mini Cooper. But here's the weird thing. The person who found her grandmother was not the caretaker, but Mr. Carter, handsome Carter. Yo, the idea of knowing your death day is unnerving, but also maybe there's some sort of comfort in that when you are in a certain circumstances or mindset. I don't know. But just imagine receiving a letter from your neighbor saying that they will pass away at this date so you can go find them after that. Because that is exactly what happened to Handsome Carter. He received a letter from Birdie's grandmother 3 days before she passed away, accurately stating that she will be gone 3 days after. That is why she sent her caretaker away. She wanted to die with dignity and in privacy, and that she left the back door open so Carter can let himself into spyglass. When Carter found her, she was really like gone. She was in her library. She was reading a book called Frankenstein. This is also Birdie's favorite book, if I'm not wrong. Carter continues telling Birdie, I'm really sorry for your loss. We might not have known her, but she is always very well known to us as the mysterious old woman living in Spyglass. She is actually a local legend. There are many stories about her, like how she was the woman who died twice. Birdie's grandmother died for the first time when she received the news that her fiance had been killed in the war. She literally dropped dead on the spot when she heard the news, and the next day she was buried. Birdie may have only inherited Spyglass and the pub from her grandmother. Her ancestors were actually quite well off when Birdie's grandmother was younger. Funerals were not cheap, and Birdie's grandmother, the first time that she died, she was buried in silk-lined coffin. She was also dressed in the finest clothes with rings all over her fingers. The huge red ruby engagement ring was too buried with her. You see, they are the only family in the village who could afford to do this. This was quite a big send-off, and everyone in the village saw who was buried and what was buried with her. You wanna know what happens next? Grave robbers. Let me be honest, I'm Asian. If you can't tell I'm Asian, I'm Asian. I believe and respect all of the superstitions that we have going on here. I grown up listening to stories, everything. I've seen ghosts in my life. I just want to know, grave robbers, like where the heck do you get your bravery? Because I've heard so many stories, even wearing a deceased person's ring would bring them horrendous luck or something bad would happen to them. So I really don't know, girl. Like, don't do that. Like, don't mess with Asians and the unseen, right? The evening that Birdie's grandmother was buried, that evening, the grave robbers dug her up, ripped the earrings off her ears, snapped the necklace from around her neck, and then they started to take her rings off one by one until they touched the red ruby engagement ring. And oh my God, we have hit the jackpot right here. If they could only take one thing, it would be that ring. But it's freaking stuck on her. They can't get it off her. So they decided we're just gonna cut off her finger. As they sliced into her grandmother's skin, Olivia Bird woke up and screamed, and the grave robber were screaming too, like, what the hell's going on? I would probably scream too. Even Birdie's grandmother's family were scared too. Imagine burying someone and the next day they come out of their room and was like, what's for breakfast? If you go and see Birdie's grandmother's grave, it would say Olivia Bird, 1926 to 1944. 1944 to 2025. The woman who died twice. She sounds like she could be in the Avengers, you know? Ever since, Birdie's grandmother would outlive all of her family members, including her daughter. She self-exited when Birdie was 10 years old. In Birdie's grandmother's will, she stated that she wants to be known forever as Hopeful's legend, as the woman who died twice. Being a legend here is not so bad. According to Carter, Hope Falls is really not a place where bad things happen. So he doesn't even know why. Like, everyone is saying that they need a new senior detective. He doesn't really understand that. There's never been a case that's too difficult to solve. Like, just look at the size of the village. This is very fascinating to Birdie because she cannot imagine living here all her life and not wanting to leave like Carter. So she smiles and he smiles and he asks, do you want to go get a drink before you go? Hey! Let's fucking go. Let's go. I love it. I think y'all should drink and do it. But Birdie says, thank you for telling me about my grandmother, but I won't be back here and I don't drink. But if you want to come in, I'm sure we could find something else to do. What? Wait, hold on. What are you going to do inside a museum with like so much dust and everything? Do it. They fulfill my wish. They do the nasty. And this is a new experience for Birdie. You know what I'm talking about? Like, she knows Carter, this guy is at least 10 years younger than her. But she's like, I like it. So they do the nasty. And you want to know the details or not? Let me know. I want to know. But I'm not going to tell you too much because my mom might be watching this like in the future. It's going to be disgusting. They did it on the sofa and he just like picks her up like, girl, you my dumbbell, okay? And he's like enthusiastic. He has his pen and paper ready to try different positions. Kama Sutra. Birdie is like, oh, I like enthusiasm. Let's go. This is the best nasty that he has ever had in his life. Like, let me just tell you, he tells her this straight up after. And Birdie's like, meh, it's okay. I mean, I've had better. But how do you think that my grandma knew that she was going to pass? What a question to ask after doing the freaky ding dong. Nobody actually knows how Birdie's grandmother knew that she was going to die that day. They all just assumed that somehow she knew. But Birdie knew exactly how her grandmother knew because of the letter that she found saying, thank you for joining the Thananos family. You will find your date of death confirmed below. Oliver Bird, Friday, February 14, 2025. We wish you a happy death day. So she died on Valentine's Day. Birdie is intrigued. Her doctors were not able to tell her just even an estimate of how long she has, but Thananos may be able to. So what the fork is Birdie gonna do? While I was reading this, I was like, for sure she's gonna sign up for Thananos, but how? You can only join Thananos via invitation. It's not available to the public. It feels like it's still in the testing phase. You don't get good things in life for free, you know what I mean? Private clinic with exclusive, super advanced AI technology for free? That's suspicious. Like, remember when certain AI was created to be for free? And then it's not. LOL. At this point, there's really nothing tying Birdie to Eden's identity being stolen still. There's no clear motive between the two. But these two are really the main leads in the story. So at this point, whatever Birdie does next, do you think that it will change Eden's life 6 months later? What do you think? Do you think Birdie will still be alive 6 months later? It's kind of crazy that we got like two hot female leads and they both have something in mind despite the timeline, right? They are both looking at Carter like, okay, I guess he's hot poopy, right? But let's go back to Eden. Eden's life right now is falling apart after she fell down the stairs. The first person that she sees is none other than handsome Kara, and he's there to arrest her. But before he can, she escapes again. Like, Carter, get your together. She gets into the Range Rover and she drives straight to Gabriella. The question is, where is she and what happened to her? It's now dark at night. Eden is driving alone on the road. A lot is going through her mind right now. The imposter, Harrison going along, her stuff missing from the house, and Gabriella. She hasn't seen her daughter in a while since the day they dropped her off wherever she is. Eden, like we have talked about, she harbored a sense of resentment towards her own daughter. She took care of Gabriella for 10 years, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 10 years. That's a long time. She had neglected herself for her for 10 years. Of course, she loves Gabby, but this move is just so much better. For Gabby, for her, for Harrison. You might be wondering, what happened to Gabby? Why does she need this level of care? Has she always been this way? Gabby is in I'll call it a very fancy rehab center. She needs this level of care because she was involved in quite a gruesome accident when she was just 8 years old. Remember when Eden wishes that she was normal? Gabby was normal before this. She was even a little bit of a brat before this. When she didn't get things her way, she would cry, she would throw tantrum. But Gabby has always been a daddy's girl. Gabby wanted Harrison all to herself, but Eden wanted him too, alone, and in a different way. That is just something that Gabby couldn't and doesn't understand. Eden has a very interesting outlook in life, like we talked about, and she likes to be in between. She also believes that love is just an equation. Time plus life multiplied by hard times together plus heartbreak equals love minus lust. Y'all, I was trying to work out this equation and I don't think that it works. You can try it out and let me know if it works. In words, it's quite beautiful. But right now, let me take you back to 10 years ago to when Gabby's life took a huge turn. Gabby was out riding her bike around the neighborhood as usual. She has been begging to get the training wheels off her bike that day, and Harry did it, but he didn't really want to do it because he thinks that she's not ready and all of that. While Gabby is out with her bike without the training wheels, Harry and Eden were inside the house doing the nasty. Honestly, they just were two animals gogging at each other. That day, they did it after lunch because before lunch, they were like, oh my God, we have to do this after. So they had their fun, and then Harry drove back to work after. Eden was feeling so blissful even after Harry left. She was just lying on his bed until she realized that Gabby is nowhere to be found. Maybe Gabby's hiding. She loved playing hide and seek. She looked and looked until there's nowhere else to look. She called Harry then. Then Harry called the police. And then Gabby is still nowhere to be found. The sky was dark and it started to rain. Then there was the screaming siren of a police car. It got louder and louder, and it got closer and closer until sudden screeching brakes. Then Eden ran out to the front door, and there she saw the bike first, twisted and flattened. Then Eden could not see much because there's so much tears in her eyes. But in front of her, you would also see Gabby lying on the road, still and broken. And then Eden screamed. Then when they get to the hospital, Harrison was just destroyed. His little girl, his broken little girl. He kept whispering, what happened? What happened? And because of this, his love for his daughter would forever eclipse his love for Eden. He hired the best of the best doctors, but nobody could cure Gabby. Gabby's body healed, but her mind didn't. She can speak, but she wouldn't speak. For 10 years, Gabby has not spoken. There's nothing wrong with her brain. It's a symptom of extreme post-traumatic stress. She would speak again one day, but she never has. She just keeps painting. So that's what happened to Gabby, and I don't think that Eden's equation works here at all. According to the story, it seems like Eden is suggesting that the police did not see Gabby and accidentally ran her over. They did not live in Hope Falls before this, so this is definitely not Carter. We know that Gabby survived this accident and she's in rehab. She can't speak. I mean, she can speak, but she doesn't speak. So if you really think about it, How does that help Eden? When Eden arrives at Gabby's rehab, it's almost midnight. The rehab center is called The Manor. It's giving a cure for wellness. If you have watched the movie, everything is just white. Everything is too clean. The floor is too polished. Everybody's in white. Everybody's way too polite. Like, y'all need to stop that. Eden asks to see Gabby and the nurse brings her to room 13, Gabriella Wolf. I'm sure you know this already. Gabriella has been making really good progress. The nurse says as she opens the door, and oh my goodness, there are so many paintings. Eden taught Gabby how to paint after the accident because every day Gabby would just watch her paint. All of Gabby's painting back then was so childlike, but these paintings right now in the manor in her room, they are beautiful and terrifying because all of them are paintings of spyglass. Gabriella Wolf has never stepped foot in Hope Falls or in spyglass. The nurse speaks again. Your mother is here to see you, Gabriella. Gabby stares at Eden and she shakes her head. Now Gabby looks confused, afraid, and she opens her mouth and says, she is not my mother. And when the nurse is not looking, Gabby turns to face Eden and she goes from afraid and scared to slowly smiling. Eden felt crazy, in Hope Falls, like everyone saying that she's not the real Eden Fox. Now she feels even crazier. The only reason that she came here to the manor is not to see her, but to know whether she's really crazy. And this reminds Eden of just how much she hates Gabby. She wishes Gabby was never born. Then she runs out of the room, straight into the Range Rover, and she starts driving. She has nowhere else to go, nobody to turn to, so she keeps driving until the Range Rover stops. Electric car, damn. She's close to Hope Falls though, like she could run back, but why would she go back? And she falls asleep, and then a phone starts to ring. It's ringing in the glove compartment. So she opens it and inside there's a phone inside a clear plastic bag. It's not her phone. On it says no caller ID is calling. So she picks it up and whoever is on the other side hangs up immediately. Instead, they send a text. Eden, everything's going to be okay. Go to our special place at sunrise. I'll be there. Love you to the moon and back. X. Chances are it's Harrison because love you to the moon and back. She gets out of the car and she keeps running. The thing is, what is going through her mind right now is, can she even trust Harrison right now? After him telling the police that he doesn't know her, can she trust him? But he, at the same time, is also her only hope. So she keeps running. Past the gallery, past the pub, past the sea. She keeps running until she reaches their special place. She takes out the phone, no signal. She puts it back into her pocket and she waits. She waits for Harry and then she hears someone approaching behind her. The next thing Eden Fox knows is she's off the cliff of their special place. Her body twists, turns, and spins until it smashes onto the rocks at the bottom of the cliff. Eden Fox is dead, and she felt everything. Our main lead is now dead. We are not done with the story. What the hell is happening? We don't know who pushed Eden. We actually don't know if this is even the real Eden Fox. We also don't know how Birdie has anything to do with this Eden Fox dying. Because 6 months ago, she visited Hope Falls, went back to London, signed up for Thanatos. So right now, let's explore the other main lead, Olivia Bird, in London 6 months ago, before Eden Fox fell off the cliff of her special place with Harrison Wolf. Okay, the process to sign up for Thanatos is that you have to go to their website and call a specific number. Their website only has one landing page, and the landing page has the company name and a phone number. No address, no about us, no testimonies. Well, they would be dead, you know. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that you can call that number. But if you sound young, the posh lady is going to tell you that Thanatos membership is by invitation only, which is very weird if you really think about it. Why would you need a membership for a one-time thing. Birdie gives her grandmother's name and immediately she's put on hold because this lady sounds young and her name is on our list. For a long time, she's put on hold. And then the posh lady came back and she says, "Welcome to Dananos." Then she's given an address and an online questionnaire to complete. Then she was given an appointment slot. No waiting list, no fees. Again, that is very suspicious, right? This is what Thananos would tell you. You give us your time and we tell you how much time you have left. It's giving freaky, but Thananos is a real deal. Birdie did her research and the concept of predicting death day with AI and with the technology that we have now is not new. But when she tried to find articles about Thananos specifically, they're just like very little coverage on them. You would assume with a company like this, there would be more. There was a recent article written about Thananos calling them one of the world's leading pharma tech companies. The next day, Birdie goes in for her appointment at Thananos, right? Birdie is sitting down in the waiting room and she's asked to fill out more questionnaire. You gotta give us your weight, your height, how much you make in a year, list the names and dates of your family members, list your socials, Instagram, Facebook, everything, TikTok, yes, your emails. Also, I got a list of yes or no questions for you. Agreement. Like she has to agree, I hereby agree to install Thananos apps on all my electronics devices within my home and those carried on my person. Yes or no. I hereby agree that Thananos can access my previous medical records and my immediate family's medical records. Yes or no. And on top of that, Birdie has to sign an NDA. And when Birdie is looking at all of this, she has so many questions. Like, why do you need everything about me and my immediate family? Not that she has any right now, but why do they need all of that? And her fingerprints. When she tried to ask the receptionist about this, okay, I want you to picture she's in her 20s, early 20s. She looks like she could be in a movie. Maybe she was in Gossip Girl, the latest one. Her face is an artwork on its own. She's dressed in clothes that you might have to take out a loan for. She might just have a Birkin under her desk and for sure, this girl is wearing Van Cleef, all right? Fancy girl. That's how fancy you can get if you are hired by Thananos. Another form of the manner, but fancier, low-key. Back to Birdie. She asks the receptionist, like, why do you need all of this information? And can my fingerprint really predict my death? And the receptionist just smiles and tells Birdie, everything will be explained to you when you see the doctor, and they will be more than happy to answer any questions that you have then. If you would rather leave, you are of course under no obligation to stay. I would be pissed because she is threatening you to leave right now. She has nothing to lose. You got something to lose. But girl, Birdie is like, I got no time to waste. Take those prints and let's go. When she's done, she's asked to leave all of her belongings before meeting the doctor. So she does that. And then she enters this doctor's office. It's white. It's fully white. There's no decoration. There's no frame photo of the doctor's family or ABCD. You know how like in doctor's office, they have the check your eyesight sort of thing? None of that. Just two armchairs, a white table, and a camera. So this is weird, but what's even more weird is that this beetroot of a doctor also smiles too much. Like, why is everyone smiling so much? This doctor also looks very familiar. Like she has seen them somewhere, just like the receptionist, just like everyone else in this office. He also looks just as fancy as everyone else. The thing is, why go to medical school when you can afford a Birkin as a receptionist at Thananos? Hello, I'm the doctor. Tell me in your words why you want to know when you would die. Birdie says, I've had the diagnosis of, and he cuts her off. Yes, I've read that. But why do you want to know your end date? so I can make preparations, I guess, say goodbyes to loved ones. The doctor nods. He looks at her and he frowns. He says, "You don't really have any loved one though, do you? Except for your dog, of course. We understand that you love Sunday. From what we know about you, and we know a lot, you know when a person is telling a lie. So it seems strange to us that you would lie about yourself. It's just that you are an intelligent person with an above average IQ. Your score when you were a child suggests superior intelligence, as does your track record at work." Birdie did not tell him any of this. Sunday was not part of the questionnaire, her IQ, none of it. Her childhood, no. Work, nothing. Birdie is spooked, as one does. So she gets up and she wants to leave, but he stops her. He says, "Please sit, Birdie. May I call you that? We know that your mother called you Birdie when you were a little girl before she committed, and that you prefer to be called Birdie than Olivia. And we know you know that with a diagnosis like yours, you would be dead before too long. Your pupils have dilated a little, so I can see that I have upsetted you, and I apologize for that. Your emotional responses level is a little higher than we estimated based on the information that you supplied, causing you further anxiety. I want you to know that, Birdie, that is not our intention. But I hope that you can understand our strict guidelines and the need for checks and balances." What I'm really trying to say here is that, Birdie, if we tell you your exact date that you will die, what will you do with that information? Birdie tries to ask again, like, how would you be so sure that you would know that date? But before she can even complete her question, he interrupts again. "You don't need to know how, Birdie. That is our job. We only want what is best for our clients, and we are a highly ethical company, one which takes its role and responsibility seriously. If telling you the date that you will die might in any way cause you additional suffering or anxiety, then we simply won't do it." Then there was a long pause until Birdie tells him, "I want to know because there is someone who I need to see before it's too late." Birdie has no surviving family member as much as we know, so we have no clue who she wants to see, but this is good enough of a reason for the doctor to continue the process for her. He takes some samples, blood, nails, skin, hair. The next day, someone knocks on her door and hands her a letter from Thananos. When she opens the letter, it says, "Thank you for joining Thananos family. We all have a right to know when our last day will be, and now you can live your best life every day until the day that you die and make any arrangements with peace of mind. Do be sure to contact us if you have any further information on the number below. We wish you a happy death day." Birdie sees her end date and we don't. And the moment she sees the date, she's like, maybe we should be vampires, Maybe we should be able to dream about living forever, not having to think about this date. Or maybe the curiosity of knowing your end date should not even be entertained. As much as Birdie felt like her life sucked from the jump, she doesn't want it to end. But right now, she knows what she needs to do. Maybe right now, Birdie can start winning at life. So you might be thinking, like, what's the change? Let me tell you. 6 months later, Birdie walks into a cafe and she tells an old woman standing behind the counter, "I like the decorations." And the old woman replies, "I like your tattoo." Okay, this lady has like really thick Cornish accent. Reminds Birdie of her childhood. Wink, wink. Y'all, I have no idea how to imitate a Cornish accent. I might need to go to UK first. That's all I'm saying. I need to go for a trip to the UK or the Commonwealth before I do that. Because right now, all I know, British accent sounds like this. Like, what? That's it. Okay, it's embarrassing. Anyway, Birdie continues, "You seem to be the only place in Hope Falls ready for Halloween." Yes, so if you have guessed Hope Falls, you are correct. Birdie, 6 months later, is in Hope Falls. She quit her job in London. She moved to Hope Falls with her dog. Right now, she's renting an Airbnb above the pub. And right now, she's standing in a cafe near the ocean. This cafe looks so old. It looks like it was decorated in the 70s and then everything just stopped. Like everyone just gave up besides Halloween, because in Hope Falls, the villagers are very into celebrating not Halloween, but the Day of the Dead, which we will talk about later. But right now, Birdie is holding her cup of coffee and she walks straight to the cottage of a police station to find handsome Carter. When she sees him, he is sitting alone behind a desk that looks too big for him. He's listening to an old Walkman with his feet up on the desk. And get ready, ladies, your freaking pants might just fly off or like poof off. Handsome Carter is neat and tidy. The police station is neat and tidy. His uniform is pristine and his hair is combed. Oh my god, oh my. Hey Google Maps, will you please look for my pants for ya? 6 months after they did the freaking ding dong, Birdie is standing in front of handsome Sergeant Carter. But this time, like, he just looks so much more tired and older. And he right now looks very shocked. He is shocked to see Birdie again. And Birdie asks him, "So I take it that you remember me then?" Carter is still staring. He looks like he's confused and scared. He's probably scared of the husky Sunday. And he says, "Yes, of course. I remember you, Mrs. Bird's granddaughter." Carter tells Birdie. And Birdie's like, he does not remember my name. And he grows red. She says, "You can call me Birdie." Usually Carter would be down for some catch up or like a wink wink catch up, if you catch my drift, but just not today. He let a potential stalker escape twice, a missing woman, and a new senior detective coming into town. He does not have the time for catching up in any form. So he tells Birdie that, but Birdie keeps trying to keep him there. And he says, "Birdie, could we just talk about this another time? Like, I'm really in a rush. I can't be late to meet the new detective today." Well, Carter, what I'm really trying to tell you is that you already have. You can still call me Birdie, but officially it's DCI, Olivia Bird. I'm your new boss. Oh my god, I literally screamed when I read this part because she's so badass and she's so cool. I need to go to the UK because I did not know this. DCI stands for, let me recollect, loading, Detective Chief Inspector, a high-ranking police officer. Oh my god, she's so hot. Olivia Bird is one of the best detectives in the country. She got badges, she got recognition. She is the senior detective that Carter has been talking about. She is Carter's boss. And Carter, though, is like, oh, darn. That means I forked my boss. This lady told Carter that she would not be back never, ever again. And now she's back. For good, it sounds like, as his boss. He's like, is this a joke? He low-key hates this because he's like, I have been here the longest. I've worked here the longest. Like, what are we talking about? I should be the senior detective instead of anyone else, really. But also, damn, girl. And Birdie opens her mouth. I know, right? It's madness. I've heard that they let women vote these days too. And as if it was not bad enough, now there's a female DCI in Hope Falls. What is the world coming to? Birdie's just messing with him. And I love it because Carter didn't mean it like that. It just came out really rude. But even if he was not joking, Birdie can handle him through and through. That's how badass Birdie is. Anyway, I'm your new boss. I'm hoping that it won't be too much of a problem for you. And just to let you know that I actually have very strict rules about not sleeping with the people that I work with, especially those who are under me, so to speak. But I was not your boss then. let's start again. What do you think? They continue to bicker throughout the book. And I love it because it's so cute. But I don't even know if it's bickering because 9 out of 10 times, Birdie's brain and rebuttal is way ahead of Carter. I love it though. Almost immediately, Carter tells Birdie more details about the missing woman in Hope Falls. So we know this already. We know the missing woman is Eden Fox. Real or fake, we don't know. But we know the missing woman is dead. But Birdie and Carter, they don't know that. So Carter tells Birdie that they suspect it's self-exit. Remember, the cliff is a famous self-exit spot. The only person who saw the woman running up the hill is a dog walker. He's a villager. Besides that, nobody has seen her. Carter already interviewed the woman's husband, and somehow he just believes that he has nothing to do with it. Carter believes that just because the husband came to the station himself to see Carter. Birdie asks, is there a transcript? No, there's a tape. I was just listening to it when you walked in. They use cassettes in Hope Falls, and that's not a bad thing. I love that. I loved it for them. The only bad thing in Hope Falls right now is every 5 milliseconds, Carter is picturing Birdie doing the freaking ding dong with him. Birdie sees that, and Birdie's like, quit picturing that right now. I'm your boss. I don't have time to listen to the tape, but I want to know what the husband said. So transcribe whatever it is and email it to me. I'll be at my office. Birdie does not want to be here in her office in the police station because I don't know why, but she wants to be at the pub below her Airbnb. So that would be the place where they conduct meetings from now onwards. That pub is also the place where Birdie would learn more, so much more about Carter during her stay in Hope Falls. Okay, I'm gonna just tell you, it's a good thing and bad things because he's a really, really good person, but he got some pretty big secrets. And we will cross that bridge when we get there. But right now, let's get to know what happened between Sergeant Luke Carter and Harrison Wolf. Just to touch bases, October 31st, 2025 is Halloween night. This is the day after Eden Fox went missing. And this morning, Harrison Wolf went to see Carter himself. Then in that afternoon, Birdie came in and told Carter that I'm your new boss. Definitely a lot happened that day. Earlier that day, when Harrison Wolf came in to see Carter, here's what they talked about. Carter starts saying that, thank you for coming in, Mr. Wolf. I just want to state for the record again that you are under no obligation to be here. Yes, I know. I just need to know what happened to my wife. I understand that, Mr. Wolf. You said you had something to show me? Harrison Wolf brought 2 things to the police station. His wife's engagement ring and wedding ring. Eden left them behind. It's just every time that she goes for a run, she would leave them behind. Have you found Eden yet? Carter says no, and Harrison continues to tell Carter about the crazy woman pretending to be his wife. Have you found her yet, the imposter? No, but we have found the car. It was abandoned about a mile from Hope Falls. I'm sorry to ask, Mr. Wolf, was there any possibility of an affair? Who? Me or my wife? Do you mean me with that woman or my wife with someone else? But why do you think that she off herself if nobody has found her or her body? Did anybody see her jump? Shouldn't you be looking for her right now? Nobody asked, but that line of question is a little suspicious. Carter tells him that the Coast Guard is looking for Eden right now, or bodies in general. Really, the Thais is not being friendly about this. Carter continues, you know, with the tides like this at this time of the year, sometimes it can take a while for a body to wash up. Is that what you're trying to say, Sergeant? Jesus, I can't believe this is happening. Like I said, Mr. Wolf, we don't know what happened yet. Is it possible for your wife, like, just go and see someone, maybe a friend? Are you saying that I don't know my wife? She was fine. She was happy until the crazy woman showed up. Okay, Mr. Wolf, do you have any children? Where is she? I would like her name and contact. I have a daughter. She does not have anything to do with this. She has never been to Hope Falls and she's 18. Her name is Gabriella. Why are you staring at me like that? There's only one police officer here in Hope Falls before Birdie got transferred here today. Eden yesterday told Carter yesterday at this exact spot that she also has a daughter named Gabriella. When he tells Harrison that, Harrison just says, "What are you saying? The crazy woman was delusional. If she pretended to be my wife, he might as well pretend to also be the mother of my child." Carter dismisses it. Nothing suspicious. He continued asking questions. "Mr. Wolf, is there anyone who might have had a grudge against you or your wife?" I want you to think about that question right now. I have a question for you. You. How do you think a normal person would respond to that question? I'm thinking maybe they go like it's just that like they were such a nice person. They've been so kind all their life. It's just like there's no bad bone in their body. You know, they're like since young they've been so good. Like if you can go ask the cleaner that they have met 10 years ago and they will have nothing bad to say about this. Come on. Or is this beetroot? Oh my God. Let me tell you, they had it coming. Like, I'm not surprised if you ask me. I'm just like, why didn't it happen sooner? I mean, like, look at that. Karma finally hit them like a bus. You know what I'm saying? Those two responses are the only acceptable responses because Harrison Wolf does not respond either way. He asks, "Why are you asking about grudges if you think she offed herself? I'm going to leave now. If you have anything else that you would like to say to me, you can do it via my solicitor." It beats me why Carter thinks that this is not suspicious behavior because what the heck? This is textbook definition of suspicious. But you know what? Let's go back to Carter. The reason why Carter started this recording by telling Harrison that he has no obligation to be here is because Carter already went to see Harrison at his house earlier that day. Harrison's attitude in the morning was way different. He was like way friendlier. Maybe he was confused why Carter was at his front door. He just knew that when he woke up alone. He actually just woke up when Carter knocked on the door. Carter asked if he remembers where she was, Eden was, and Harrison remembers the gallery, some drinking, and then Eden was buzzing from the exhibition, her first exhibition. I mean, understandable. So she stayed up a little longer than him. He just fell asleep. Then Carter pulled out a sweater. It's Eden's sweater. When Carter told Harrison that this sweater was found by the cliff, Harrison started searching the house like frantically. What is weird is he's not looking for his wife. Like maybe his wife is sleeping in another room or something. He's not doing that. He's looking for her phone. He takes out his phone and he calls Eden. Eden's phone is inside the kitchen drawer. Harrison thinks to himself, what a strange place for it to be. Then Carter tells him, "I'm sorry. I think your wife might be dead." And then Carter left. Imagine spending 10 years of your life with someone and suddenly you get the news that they might be gone. Your world would probably fall apart. After Carter left, Harrison is thinking, oh, I gotta cancel my meetings. Actually, I should be in London right now because I have a huge deal going on for my company. But that's not what a grieving husband would do. So I can't leave Hope Falls. So it's very suspicious how he's reacting to this whole thing. He says that he does feel strange. Maybe he just doesn't know how to deal with this feeling. He feels like this cannot be possibly happening, like his wife going missing. It feels very surreal. And then he finally falls apart. I don't even know if he cries or not. It sounds like he didn't. Because Immediately, when he's feeling down, he reminds himself of the man that everyone else thinks that he is. Harrison Wolf, CEO, fearless, powerful, honest. I'm not the guy who get broken even when I lose everything that I love. So he takes a shower, shaves, put on his favorite suit. That would be his armor today. Then he takes 2 rings to the station and talked to Carter. Now, before he left the house to go to the station, he tells himself, even though I would rather nobody ever finds out what she did, I don't want them to find her. We don't know what he's talking about. Kind of, I want you to remember. Because trust me, that piece of clue is a huge one, all right? Harrison right now looks so guilty and suspicious. And I'm not even sure if he stormed off then come back, because he does come back to Carter to apologize for snapping at him, saying that today is just, a lot. He's just in shock. So they would continue their conversation, and Harrison's description of his life with Eden aligns exactly with the Eden that was here yesterday. She has no friends. She got married young. She took care of their daughter. She was happy to move to Hope Falls. But there was one thing that Eden did not tell us, which is, what Harrison do for a living? And when Carter asks him the same question, he says, I would rather not say. And Carter asks, may I ask why, Mr. Wolf? What? You think that my wife jumped off a cliff because of my job? I've had the same job for years. It paid for the life that she wanted. Mr. Wolf, the name of the company, if you don't mind. I do mind, but fine, if it helps you to find her. I'm the CEO of a pharmaceutical and tech company in London called Thananos. Oh. As Birdie is reading the transcript, she's thinking, whoa, what are the chances, right? What are the chances of the CEO of the company that will tell me my death day bought my grandmother's house, and now his wife is missing and I am investigating it? Harrison is definitely hiding something. That is Birdie's hunch or something, but she doesn't know what he's hiding. So she tries to Google Harrison Wolf. Maybe she'll get a clue, and she finds nothing, because that man is a ghost online. You can't find anything about him online. It's one of 2 things. Either this man really values his privacy, or he has something to hide, or both. We don't know. As Birdie is reading the transcript, she would call Carter to come to the pub and they would talk about this case. And Carter is like, yeah, Harrison is definitely not suspicious. He's not guilty. He has nothing to do with his wife going missing. But the crazy lady, she's suspicious. I know what the real Eden Fox looks like. I've already met the real Eden Fox. Everybody in the village has. Everybody who met her liked her. She made real effort to really get to know us, to be friendly with us. She would go to the bakery, the butcher. She even support our local businesses here, which is, really good. It always goes well in a small village like this. And we all saw her at the exhibition last night. That was my first time meeting her. The other Eden Fox, claiming that she has always been the Eden Fox, I have never seen her in my life. She seemed a little bit crazy and, possibly dangerous. Birdie's like, okay, so what you're telling me is you let a person who is possibly crazy and dangerous run away from you twice. Nice job, detective. As they're having this conversation, Birdie is looking at Carter, and Birdie is wondering to herself why Carter is lying to her face right now, because last night was definitely not the first time that Carter met Eden Fox, real or fake, whichever Eden Fox. Birdie doesn't actually confront Carter about it. Instead, she grabs Carter and they head straight to Spyglass. Harrison opens the door and he's in perfect suit, black shirt and tie. His hair is neat. He's clean shaven. He does not look like a man who just lost his wife. Hello, Mr. Wolf. I am DCI Oliver Bird. I believe you have already had the misfortune of meeting my colleague Carter. I wanted to apologize for his conduct earlier today. Would it be okay if we came in for a moment? I'm actually in the middle of a important Zoom call for work. That's okay, Mr. Wolf. It's just a little bit chilly outside. We can wait inside until you're ready. Before Birdie even finishes her sentence, she's already inside Spyglass. Harrison asks, again, the same question. Have you found her? No, not yet, but please take a seat. Carter, can you please make us a cup of tea each? Carter's like, lady, this is your first day. This is like first hour. What the heck are you doing? You come to my village and... He makes them a cup of tea each. Birdie continues to speak. My colleague here does not have any thoughts of his own, so tends to borrow mine. So if you don't mind just answering some questions again, you and your wife used to live in London until you guys moved to Hope Falls. Why? Harrison Wolf answers. Eden always dreamt of living by the sea. She had this strange obsession with the ocean. Nothing made her happier. This house was on the market and it seemed perfect. She was happy here. And Birdie's thinking, why is Harrison Wolf, the husband, talking in past tense? You are the CEO of a pharma tech company, right? Yes, and Harrison right now, from this point onwards, he's on guard for some reason. We deal with high-end pharmaceutical research and scientific technology. Then Eden and Harrison sort of just have this like unspoken, let's see whose pee-pee is bigger contest to see who breaks eye contact first or who speaks first. After a while, you can just feel the tension like brewing and it hits its peak. And Harrison leans in and tells Birdie, I understand why you're asking about my job, but I loved my wife and I've already told you everything I know. I have experienced grief before, and the only cure for heartbreak is hard work. You might think that my commitment to my work is strange or suspicious at times like this, but it's just my way of coping what may and may not have happened. Birdie have been in the field for way too long, and she knows that he's not lying. She had earned herself the nickname Human Lie Detector, and right now she believes Harrison. And she says, thank you, Mr. Wolf. Would it be okay if we just took a quick look around the house? Happy to help in any way I can. Yeah, I got nothing to hide. And at that, Harrison just told Birdie his first lie. So Birdie and Carter, they start walking around the house, and Carter is just like a grumpy little kid following her. Not only did you ask me to make you and him a cup of tea each, I've also already searched the house and you want to search it again? They stop by the master bedroom. The bed is made and nothing is out of place. The sheets looks like they have been changed. Birdie turns to Carter and she's like, do you think that Harrison looks like the kind of man who normally does housework to you? No. So why would he do this? Why would he tidy up everything and even change the sheets? While Eden and Carter are searching the house, Harrison is restlessly pacing the kitchen. He is wondering what they're doing. Parts of him like really cares about what they think of him. Like, is he being too suspicious right now or what? But another part of him doesn't really care because Thanatos finally found a big investor and he wants this deal to go through. This Thanatos deal is more important than Eden going missing because, quote, there are bigger things at play here. When they meet again, Birdie asks Mr. Wolf, would you mind if we take your wife's hairbrush? Yeah, sure, anything I can do to help. And then Birdie and Carter take their leave. You see, here is the thing. This is not the first time Harrison has met Birdie. Not only that he knows that Birdie visited his clinics a few months ago, Harrison Wolf was the one who told Birdie's doctor exactly what to say. Birdie's doctor looked very familiar to her because he's an out-of-work actor. All right. She probably saw him in the background of some TV shows or something. Same as the other nurses and staffs. Harrison watches from the little camera in the clinic and he tells each of them what to say. I think him and his team would tell each of them what to say, what to do, and how to say it. They are basically his puppets. He pays them life-changing money to do this, and he would tell them, don't go and chase that Hollywood dream, because here at Thananos, you are making history. You are playing a lead role in changing the world. Harrison is just, shoving poop down their throats, but he believes in Thananos, in his technology. He wants to be remembered alongside Thananos. He is very proud of what he has done, this creation. Here's how he would do things at Thananos, right? When you accept the terms and conditions, Thananos will start listening to your conversation, to your activities, through your phone, through your laptop, anywhere with a connection, they would track your activities. Then, when you go to the clinic to give your DNA samples to them, they would use AI and their bespoke algorithm to predict when you would die. Harrison was the one who handled Birdie's case personally. When he saw Birdie at his front door in spyglass, he knew exactly who she was and he knew exactly when she will die, which is a few days from now. And that is where I leave you for part 1. Who do you think is the real Eden Fox? Do you think the husband did it? Do you think that Birdie was right about that the husband really did it? Why did Carter, out of everyone, feel like he had to lie about when he saw Eden Fox?